Today, I'm going to look at folders in Sample Manager, what they are, and reasons for using them. Folders are really a fundamental concept in Sample Manager. They determine, how your data is organized, who can access that data, and what users can see or not see in the system. And in general, a well-designed folder structure really just makes the whole system much easier to use. So what are folders? Well, they're subsets of your data. They're portions of your data. Some good metaphors to use in your imagination here, I think, think of folders as like buckets of data, or boundaries or walls around data, or even just like pie wedges of the data. In short, folders give you a way to introduce structure and context into your implementation. And actually, I think a more vivid way to see this is to just look at some folders. Here I've got a sample manager server up, and I've configured 4 folders. And let's just look at them. By the way, you get to the folders off of the main menu, which is right here. And the main menu, by the way, always tells you the current folder you're viewing. In my case, it's Sample Manager Home. I'm in the Home project, Home folder. But let's look at the 4 folders I've configured. I'm going to go from the bottom up. I've got this hospital group, UCL hospital group. This is their folder. This is what they see when they come to Sample Manager. I've got this other folder, organic farms study, and they've got fruit samples and soil samples, and that's what they see. There's this research organization. They've got a view of some of it. And then finally, at the very top, we have the home. This is the everything view of Sample Manager. It kind of it takes all the subsets, unions them together, and shows them in this one folder. It's not the everything view, though. It's always, as always in LabKey, it's conditioned by your actual security settings. If I weren't an admin, it's very possible that there were 5 folders here, 6 folders here, and I just don't have permissions to them. That's always possible. Presentation. Okay, so moving on. So why use folders? Well, I think there's really 3 main purposes behind them. They organize your data, control access to the data, and they really help focus the user experience. And it's worth looking at each of these in turn in some more detail. First, folders bring order and meaningful groupings to your data. Some examples that we've seen clients use is they've defined their folders around different projects, like this study or that research effort. Other groups have defined their folders around teams or organizations, like hospitals and research organizations and CROs. Other groups have defined them around geographic regions, or even just the assays that a team is running has been enough to define a new folder for some of our groups. And you can do this. You don't need to pick one of these lanes. You can sort of use them all simultaneously. The lesson here is Sample Manager is just really flexible in this arena, and you can pretty much make a folder for any of these purposes. Second, folders are really essential to good security in Sample Manager. Each folder can have its own independent permission settings, and that is really the foundation of letting you control who exactly can view that data or that folder, or edit it, or manage the data in it. And ultimately, this kind of pattern allows you to have separate teams that aren't like colliding with one another over the data, and yet everybody's in the same system overall, and they all are functioning with the same data standards. Third, folders let you build a much better user experience for your users. Instead of everyone seeing everything at the same time in the system, users see a focused, relevant subset of the data. And as a result, navigation becomes easier, search and filtering is less cluttered, and users see a selected set of the samples and the sources and the assets. Some other functionality that kind of folders can provide. When a project is complete and you don't really expect to be doing any more work on it, you can archive that folder and sort of get it out of the way, sort of suppress it in the UI. And this really helps clean up your workspace, but you still get to keep your historical data, and you can always unarchive it if you need to go back and consult it or change anything. You can also move data between folders. It's, and there's really two reasons that come to mind for this. You can make a mistake. You can put a sample in the wrong folder and go, oops, oh, I got to move it. And it's really easy to just select a sample and move it to the right place. And also, you can actually use this ability to move samples to capture real workflow events, like maybe a chain of custody change is signaled by a move to another team folder, or a change in workflow state you could signal with a change to a folder.